If you're an agency owner watching search evolve in real time and wondering, is this about to get harder? Am I going to lose my job? Or is this the biggest opportunity we've had in a long time? You're in the right place.
Oh man, it's never been better to be in this business. If you can figure out, which most of us in these groups have, you will dominate and make your clients wealthy.
In this episode, we're going to break down what's working right now in SEO and AEO, directories, and client retention. Hey everybody, welcome to another great episode of From Grind to Gold. I have an amazing guest today with a really cool story, redemption story, or we'll get into it. Anyway, Blair Witkowski. Hey Blair, how's it going?
How's it going, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. We were just talking off camera a little bit about, some of the things you've been through. But before we get into all that and AI and some things, tell me about how you got into the agency game. What was like, I want to be an agency owner?
I think like so many of us, I certainly did not wake up one day and say, I want to be an agency owner, or wake up one day and say, I want to do SEO. I kind of stumbled into it. I've shared the story before, but to kind of paraphrase, I was in the car industry. I was a used car manager for a giant Chrysler dealership, and it was miserable. I hated it. Hated every second of being in the car business. So all you car guys out there who hate it, I understand. And all the guys who love it, I also understand that. How it all came about was I've been in the car business both from repair side, body, high-end repair, dealership, all that, and just wanted to get out of it. But I mean, how do you get out of a business? And when you have a big family, you just can't start something. And one of my daughters was like, "Hey, you're like woodworking. Why don't you sell furniture on Etsy?" And I was like, "What's Etsy?" So this is going back to like 2000. I don't know, 10, 11, right around there. So I did. We started an Etsy store and actually sold almost 1,000 pieces, large furniture. And that too is misery and a grind. And so just like, everyone's like, hey, if you do your hobby, and you'll make all this money, you'll be super happy. That is not true. I don't ever want to touch a table saw again. I don't want to do any of that. Now that I have grandkids, I'm like, maybe I should make a bassinet and stuff. But anyway, so I was doing Etsy. And it was in Etsy that I really started getting into web design and SEO, because Etsy, like all the stuff, they take so many fees from you. And I was like, well, if I had my own website, I don't have to pay Etsy. So let me build my own website. And I fell into WordPress and all that kind of stuff. And you get to a point where it's you like anything, agency, this, that, you can't scale it. But unlike the agency world, I wasn't hiring a VA to come to my garage, as my kids were helping, my wife was helping, and just was at that max level. And I had the idea one day, I was like, wait a minute, the money is actually helping other people make money online. And so that's really how I got into it. I started getting clients by doing that, helping other people who had Etsy stores, and then realize that they don't have a lot of money to spend. But you know who does? Contractors. They have marketing money to spend. And got out of doing Etsy, worked for my brother-in-law, who's just amazing. Part-time as like a marketing manager. They have a super high-end home theater company, and worked there 3 days a week, and transferred from doing woodworking and selling online to building websites and doing SEO, until one day I was able to do nothing but web design and SEO for people on my own, out of my kitchen. So
wow, that is a winding road. I always love hearing how they just go from not doing it to doing it and successful.
Well, it's crazy because, when you think back, and I'm sure people are watching this, who are just want to get into the agency space or not, but I had that moment where you're like, wait, you're going to pay me $500 a month? What if I had 10 people? What if I had 20 people paying $500 a month? And the funny thing is now, is I don't want you $500 people anymore. Do not come and knock it unless you have $3,000 a month. But it's funny.
Yeah. Well, so fast forward, tell me about your agency today. What's it called? Where can people go look at it? What do you guys do?
So we primarily are home service and some medical. So my large main agency is Coastal Marketing Strategies, which I've had since 2012, 2013. And then we also have two niche agencies, Gutter Pro Marketing Labs and Garage Door SEO Experts. So hardcore into both of those niches, and our team is divided up into those three companies, and we run two large directories. I run the largest garage door installer directory in the country called Garage or Galaxy, and then I also run a huge gutter directory called Gutter Pro HQ. Thank you to Bradley Benner, who teaches that course about the directory hybrid agency. So if anyone's watching, he's a great resource. So we use the directory as the warm intro to get
Right.
into marketing for garage and gutters. And then our legacy agency, our big agency, just that's on gets clients through cold calling, referrals. We're actively growing that, and we do a lot of plastic surgery and stuff. But we're trying to take that into all just more home service.
Right. So the directory play is you create a directory of your target clients,
Yeah.
basically. So there is value to the directory.
Oh man, the directory play is great, and I know a lot of guys have courses out there and they're teaching it. It's not a magic bullet. There is no magic bullet in this
Yeah.
business. You're rolling up the sleeves. But like we're both in Josh Nelson's seven figure agency. It's like what
Yeah.
Josh and Yesenia talk about. Like be the authority in your niche, be the expert, and the directories they do that, and so you have, and you also have a great asset for your clients, so you can use it to get clients, you can use it to promote clients, and you can use it to build your authority, and then it helps with SEO.
And so in your client base, you have a few different niches you serve. What are some of the similarities? I mean, medical and garage door, those are two vastly different things. You guys, if I hear you right, you specialize on largely SEO and maybe
Yes.
websites. Is that what
Yeah.
I'm
So
hearing?
we're primarily, I mean, the what we do evolves all the time. We make the phone ring, and that's the similarity. Like, so people hire us to get new business, and that's the bottom line. So it doesn't matter if you're a plastic surgeon, you need someone who needs to get their ears fixed or get a nose job. If you're a garage guy, you need people calling you for new business. If you're a restaurant, you need people making reservations. So it doesn't matter what your niche is, your job is the same thing, is client generation.
Right. So what is your take on the search experience that's evolving right underneath of our feet? And
Oh man, it's never been better to be in this business. If you can figure out, which most of us in these groups have, how to show up inside of the AI answer and chat GPT, you will dominate and make your clients wealthy and keep them busy. And it's just, you know, it's never been better to do SEO for people. Because you're really bringing a tangible result. Yeah, Google's up and down and LSA and Google Ads, like all this stuff. But when you can show someone a Google Analytics report or a call tracking report and the lead came from ChatGPT and it's right there, that's a cool feeling.
yeah, yeah. Well, I always say agencies a fun business because you get exposure to all these other businesses and you get to help them grow. You get to help feed them
Yeah.
essentially. And so you're supporting an economy that's bigger than just your own business. You have all of these clients that rely on you for, lead gen, growing. Now, you don't get into sales. There are some agencies that also get into sales as well as generate, making the phone ring, as you say.
No, but I have definitely had to do some coaching. We use what converts, and so we record the calls. And I've had to do some coaching on how people should be answering the phone.
Interesting. Yeah, it kind of depends on what level they're at, right? So let's dig into a little bit of what's going on because I think part of that is you have some expertise and your team has some expertise that maybe you think is just normal because you're paying attention, but I think there's probably some things in there that now I don't want you to give away secrets or anything like that, but explain to me how the search experience has evolved a little bit, maybe let's say the last 5 years, and where do you think it's going?
That's a wide open question. Well, we could give away a lot of secrets because 99% percent of people watching this will never take action. So we can tell them exactly what to do, and they're not going to do it. So I don't even 5 years is too much. Let's just even in the last 5 months, right, has changed so much. But I would probably say sitting here today, today is May 6th in 2026. The last year, it has just entirely changed, 180 degrees once again. And you have all these different AI platforms, and it's just like anything else. We all think we're the smartest guy in the room, and we all think we figured it out. And some of us are getting really good results. Whether we figured it out, who knows? But we are getting results. I can see it with my own clients, but how we're doing it has changed. How we were getting people inside of Chat GPT, 4 or 5 months ago, is different than what we're actually doing right now this week. It's really crazy. But it still comes down to great SEO, optimizing still for Google and Bing and the search engines, and having content that the SEO, AI platforms like. And so I think the big change is that people in general, the public, is more accepting of searching on Chat GPT than they were before. And I know everyone in the office will laugh. Come and tell. I just was telling the story like 10 times in the last day. But I was at my kid's soccer game this past weekend, and a woman was sitting next to me on her phone, and she was talking to her mom, and she said, "Mom, I don't know what to tell you. Just go to Chat GPT and say, what is the best steel tumbler I can buy at Target?" So if that is not the epitome of where we are right now, I don't know what is. So
I
our,
don't know
our
what
goal
to
is to get
say.
people
It
inside
knows
of
the
AI.
answer. Just
Yeah,
ask it.
just ask it. And I wanted to reach over. I'm
Interesting.
like, is that a free account or a paid account?
Yeah, right, right. Well, we could get into that, but so let's circle back on kind of your role in the agency and what it is today, a little bit like day in the life kind of thing, versus where do you see that role evolving, or how do you see it evolving over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever your horizon is in your mind,
For me, me
talk to me about
personally,
that.
me personally, I'm trying to get out of uh, more of the day-to-day operations. I've made leaps and bounds. It's the same old stuff with being a entrepreneur, agency owner, small business owner. Like the wife is over here, like, you're gonna have a heart attack. Your kids, you're gonna have a heart attack. That kind of stuff. So I'm really trying to minimize that, and really that just comes down to growing a team. When I started, it was just me at my kitchen table, and now we have 20 18 or 20 employees in the Philippines and several people here in the States. And, I
Right.
have SEO managers and account managers, and we actually, it's cool. The coolest thing ever. We have clients that I actually don't talk to, that my account managers talk to, so I'll close them. I'm still the primary salesperson.
Mhm.
I'll close them, bring them in and hand them off. And I've got team members that just take it from there and do an excellent job.
Yeah. So if you fast forward 3 years, let's say, what do you want your life to look like? Because you do
Uh,
other things outside of your agency too. So maybe you should tell that story first. I don't.
Sure. Well, being with the agency has given me great opportunities to get into other businesses, and so I've had some joint ventures where it was equity in exchange for ownership. Some other opportunities, just hey, you've been doing all this marketing. Would you like to invest in our company? So I was able to invest in a Balance House company, a restaurant, partners in a custom home building company, and that all came through SEO and running the agency. And they're all more like silent partner type stuff where, yeah, where we're doing the marketing. So you have a vested interest. But I think going forward, I definitely would like to look at retirement. I'm just at that point where I just turned 51.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to look at a different, we have grandkids now and everything. So I'm like, wow, actually, I don't think I want to work quite as much. And I would love to hand my company over to my core team members who are like family to me. And I think that's really what my play would be, is to hand it over, give them some ownership, and then help them grow it to sell to private equity. Because isn't that all the dream? Isn't that what we all want here, is to sell this thing?
Yeah. I mean, what's interesting. So I've done the sweat equity, as I was telling you about, into agencies. I've gone in and helped build teams and do various things and earned out equity in agencies specifically. And I've also sold in a few agencies, sold percentages of my ownership to employees to give them a shot at what kind of freedom I've had and we've had as partners. And that takes a special kind of, because on one hand, you want to get the most value out of what you sell. But on another hand, you want to see those people that you're given that opportunity, the chance to succeed. So
Yes.
it's a little bit interesting. And the one thing I've found is that it's easier to do if you've built the agency to a place where you know you're going to get good value out of that sale. And you know you've hand selected and watched and coached and led the person that you're offering this opportunity to, because not everybody wants that opportunity or responsibility.
No, this is not for the weak of heart. This is not a fun industry. It's, I mean, I've, like a lot of people, I'm sure, watch this. Like, one of the key numbers is monthly recurring revenue, and you build that up and you build that up and you think you're on easy street and you lose a couple clients and you're like, well, damn, well, everything was great. And you get a couple more clients, you lose one, and so even at our level, we churn some clients sometimes it's warranted, we do a bad job. Sometimes it's entirely unfair, where you're just like, what? Your
Yeah,
nephew's going to do your SEO. Okay. Call me when that doesn't work.
that's right. Exactly. And, having good relationships with your clients seems to be like almost the most important thing. I mean, there's a lot of important things. Like you said, there's no silver bullet. But with all the technologies that are coming into play and how, and I'm curious to see how you look at this, but work that used to take months can take days.
Right.
And so, which is great, but um, who are the companies that are evolving to take advantage of that? And does that make um, that work less valuable?
Yeah.
And how do you
The-
position
yeah.
that, or
Well,
what
I'll
kind of
tell you,
experience are you having with AI in that
um,
respect?
it's great couple things to touch on there. One is the customer, your clients are the most important. It is so much easier to keep a client for a long period than to go get a new client, right? And we just forget. I mean, I was at a conference a couple years ago, and I cannot remember his name for the life of me who said this, and it's terrible, but he gave a great presentation, and he said, think of it this way: if you are paying someone $2,500 a month, wouldn't you want at least a phone call or a text to say how you doing? And we as agency owners forget that sometimes, and you almost are like, you're appalled that a client's calling you. You're like, what? Right? When we don't think of it the right way. And so from the get go, because I've had financial struggles in my life, it's never, I've not been able to pay car payments and house payments and things, and our clients have that too. A lot of times, a lot of our clients in the home service industry are not flush with cash all the time, and that might be all the money they have. You might be the last great hope for them to turn it around. You don't know, or they're trying to pay for a wedding and college, and they have employees. And if you don't take that to heart, you're looking at it all wrong. So one thing that we've evolved is how many times a month can we touch a client? And we are not perfect by any stretch, but we want to be, and we're striving to that. But we've got all these different touch points and reasons to reach out to the client throughout the month. And some of them are just trivial. Sometimes it's just like asking for more pictures, or, hey, I saw you got a great review. Do you have pictures from that job? Anything you can do so they know you're thinking about them, because they don't know what you're doing on the back end. They have no idea how this works, what you're doing. Half of them don't even understand you made the phone ring unless you bang it into their head. I mean, we still have clients after years. You're like, well, how do I know that was from you? And it makes you crazy. So having those relationships and having great client relationships can help when things go bad. Because remember, SEO, all this stuff doesn't always work. I mean, by any stretch. We have clients where sometimes we're crushing it, and sometimes you have a bad 3 months, but they like you. You've become friends. They know you're putting in the effort. They get the reports. You've explained it. You've peeled back the curtain. You're always checking in, and that stops them from churning and walking out the door sometimes. of just that good connection.
Interesting. So, when did you start your agency?
Officially, Coastal Marketing Strategies started. I want to say officially it's 2015. So I started doing it as like freelance before that,
Right.
but I remember it was in 2015, like in January. I think I bought my domain on my birthday, where I was like, we're gonna make this official. And I remember stressing over my own website and stuff, which I probably hasn't touched in years now.
Yeah. Interesting. Um, and so at your size, what do you think the key, you mentioned client relationships, having somebody, always communicating with client relationships. As you look ahead, what are the key, and you look at kind of this evolution and where you're at, what do you think the next key hires are for you? How do you
More
look at
account
that?
managers definitely for us, and a bigger operations manager. You know, and like we're always talking about AI. Dude, AI is the coolest thing since sliced bread, but it's also BS. Like it's so lame. You know, I don't know if anyone else out there is saying this, or they're afraid to say it. But Chat GPT, they can. You know, what I mean, come on now. This is still a people business. We just use the AI to do a good job for our clients. But if anyone out there thinks they're gonna, use AI to do cold email outreach and cold calls and all this kind of stuff, and have AI run your agency and all this, man, you got another thing coming. And maybe that will be different in a year or two. But I can tell you today from dealing with clients, I mean, we have clients today that like we do a lot of cold calling. So my son works for me. He's a great cold caller. I cold call. And some of our openers are, hey man, before I hang up, I'm a real person and I live in South Carolina. And they're like, oh, I mean, okay, what you got? You know, it's like it's not the automated stuff and everything. And again, we use AI all day, every day. We're using all the tools. I mean, we just like everyone else, but the human element as of right now in 2026 has not gone away, and there is already AI backlash in this industry in dealing with people. Right? They don't want the AI reports, and I mean, all right, everyone here watching in the last month, did you not get some idiot just sent you a copy and pasted Chat GPT response to one of your emails, and they didn't
Right.
take out the M dash? I mean, come on, right? So we all see it, we all know, but yet it's still the greatest thing ever because I love it. So I don't want to knock it too much, but
I think there might be something there, a piece of that, because we're human authenticity, we have radar that can just, I know AI is getting good, but how many emails do you get that you can just tell it's AI?
right,
Not that it's very robotic, but that's too
you just
damn
know.
good.
You just know.
It's
Or
like
go ask, all
too
right,
good.
whoever here does, SEO, just go ask Claude or Chat GPT, how do I rank in Chat GPT? I guarantee you it's not going to give you the correct answer, right? Because how you do it is up here in all the guys in the core group, right? Like there was just SEO
Yeah.
spring training this past weekend in Arizona by Terry Samuels. Like you want to know who's really crushing SEO? The guys that were in that room, right? Not, people who want to do SEO with Claude and watch some YouTube videos. That's just like surface level stuff. There's like the real deal is out there. And that is not what is inside of like the data set for these AI platforms yet. It's still, we're playing against HAL 2000 here, I think. But, someday it may be, but right now it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, interesting. Any thoughts, other thoughts that you have? I really appreciate your level of intensity on how you're focusing, and the fact that you've kind of diverse as an owner, an agency owner, you've taken that and diversified it a little bit, um, and that you have an end game. If it's not, you don't have a date on it yet. That's one thing, but you definitely have an end game, it seems like. And I think a lot of agency owners, and I want to hear your opinion on this, but a lot of agency owners get in the daily grind and they forget that they have a destination, or they don't even make a decision on what their destination
Right.
is. How do you look at that?
Man, I mean, I know for me, the most recent thing was we have two grandkids now. And I've made this joke of the first, you're holding this little baby, you're like, wow, I wish I was a better parent, and so it's like, how did I get here? Just like that, it's over. And I don't want the next 10 years of my life to go by as fast as the last 10. And I think that just comes with age, and being under financial pressure at some points in my life, and you this, that, and I just like stuff. So it's all in there. But I think we all need to take a step back and kind of find what are you doing this for? I've never into like all these like the business books of like find your why and all this kind of stuff. I was like, my
Yeah.
why is because I want money. I'm like, and that's okay to say that because money helps me take care of my family and other people and do great things for others and
Yeah.
have cool stuff sometimes.
Well, it's funny. I got to this level where I had more time and I asked myself, what am I doing all this for? Thinking about my son who's graduating from high school and spending time with my wife, and we work hard. She just recently retired, which is great. And I just said, well, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? What is the purpose of this stuff? Because I like the relationship part of it. I like talking with guys like you on the podcast and learning new things and sharing things. But it boiled down to, I said, you know what? There's a freedom in not having to worry about money or time or the relationships. I get to work with who I want to work with when I want to work with them for the most part. And then it boiled down to, well, then what am I here? What's my purpose? Why do I? So I did ask the question, what's my why? I ask it maybe in a different way, which is,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's a money layer of it, there's a time layer of it, and then there's the relationships you have that you want to keep alive. And I don't have to be in the day-to-day grind of an agency to have all those things. That's
Right.
what I want. And so I finally got to the point where it's like I read a couple of or listened. I don't read the books. Listen to a couple of books. 10x is easier than 2x, and what was it? The Science of Scaling, and then
Mm,
Time is a Tool. Those three books I listened to in one day while I was doing some remodeling. We've got the things going, doing some remodeling in the basement, and it was like it forced me to think about a fast forward button. Like I have this horizon that's off in front of me somewhere, and if the horizon's too long out there, or the finish line is too far out there, what we as human beings are tend to do is just, oh, I can't really feel or see that. I'm just gonna heads down and work.
right.
And what this book Time as a Tool talks about is move that horizon up to like the next, this is a thought experience. Move that horizon up to the next 6 months, year. What would you have to do to make that happen in that short a time frame? And what is interesting is it forced my mind to find a path. And not that I'm going to necessarily do that in a year, but it forced my mind to find the path that wasn't there before.
Yeah.
So now I got to make a decision on what those paths are, because we're trained, not even trained. It's not trained. It's the wrong way to, we're programmed. Our genetics are programmed to identify those patterns.
Right.
And so that's what it was like. I'm going to help agency owners experience or try to experience the freedom that I now have.
That's cool.
And
Yeah.
so that's my mission. 1,000 fulfilled founders is what I call it. Now, you might not be a founder, you'd be an owner that bought in or whatever, but agency owners, and the reason why I chose agency owners and why I love talking with guys like you is, and we talked about this earlier, you support businesses and their ability to grow.
Right. It's a it is a calling, and I think a lot of times, you know, if if you haven't been down and out before or broke before, and maybe you've had a great cushy life, or maybe you just never really struggled financially, you just don't even understand what half the world or more goes through. And I think we're so hardened to people's plight and problems, and we're so wrapped up in our own self so much that we don't even realize how many people struggle out there. And so one way you can help is, yeah, I'm taking care of myself, but you literally, I mean, I have changed people's lives with SEO by growing their business. I still have my very first client, which is the craziest thing.
Really?
Yes, I do. And unfortunately, it was a smaller business, but they don't pay a ton every month. But I've been with them, I don't know, 12, 15 years at this point, 13 years, and still work for them. And I've seen this company grow, hire employees, getting ready for retirement and stuff. And like, that's a really cool feeling. But also, keeping in mind that people struggle, and you've got a chance. Like, so if you're an agency owner, have you ever had a guy call you who's like, man, the last guy ran up my Google Ads account. I only have $400 a month. Oh, you're $1,500 a month. How many of you guys actually just said, I'm going to help you out? How many of you guys just said, hey, you know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll do 3 months at $400. I'll do 4 months and I will get you up, and then you pay the full price. Or how many of you built a free website for someone? I mean, there is so much you can do in this industry for others. I mean, like, and it costs you nothing to build a website right now. I'm not even talking about vibe coding it. We all have VAs. We all can build a WordPress website for basically like 12
Yeah.
bucks. What are you doing for other local businesses and helping people out?
I just wonder if the evolution is surrounded around the relationship and the expertise of building the system that makes the phone ring, building the
Yeah.
system that is speed to lead and sales follow up, building the system that, hey, when you do good work, tell people about it, get reviews. And now those are some just basic pillars of marketing and sales support. And I just wonder if it evolves into a place where we have such good tools that we can do things a lot faster. The expectation of speed is higher, but you still have the relationship and the expertise
Right. I think
of
you
a
hit it on the
human
head.
being, right?
You're right. You're right on that. It's still going to be, and again, like if you're going to use AI and you're going to fire your accountant, some people will do that, right? But there's people out there who still want to have an accountant, right? There's people out there who still, because if you're a garage door owner, if you're a gutter installer, do you really want to come home at night and do SEO for several hours on your website? No. You either want to hire someone or hire AI. And if you are, the average Joe who's trying to use AI, it's not into a point yet where they can do it as much, right? All these tools, Adaptify, all that stuff's garbage. I mean, we see the Facebook feed all the time. Man, half that
Yeah.
stuff doesn't work, right? You know that it's going to tank your Google business listing. It's AI slop. It doesn't work. And so those people also realize that. The business owner who's like, well, I mean, I bet today, if you're on Facebook, you saw an ad that said, fire your agency and let AI do your marketing, right? Who here has not
Yeah.
seen that ad today? Okay. Yeah. Good luck with yourself on that one.
Yeah. What's interesting to me is that in your history, you've made handcrafted furniture. And I have this theory that the world loves or is going to go back to this idea of handcrafted
Yes.
because it's made by human hands. It's authentic. There's things that you can use AI for that support all of that. But I still believe that the richness of relationships is what we
Right.
have to get back to. Think of all the mistrust in the world now because of all this tech we're at.
Right. It's
You know
it's
what I
yeah.
mean? It's
You
like,
can't believe anything. I mean, you cannot. Well, I have a big affiliate site, and I still come from an affiliate marketing background where I thought like all I want to do is affiliate marketing, and I've got friends that run like affiliate Facebook pages, and they just make all these clickbait posts and crazy stuff, and like people really believe it. It's nuts what goes on in the world. Everything, it's all fake news.
yeah. And I just think having the richness of those relationships and knowing, like sometimes I'll write a post or put something on LinkedIn or send something to a team. And the first thing I say is typed by human hands, right?
Yeah.
And but I use AI all the time. I have my own thing that I work with that I go back and forth to help me unthink some things I might have
Yeah.
think, or
Oh,
just
it's
I
great for that.
bouncing ideas off of it,
Yeah,
right?
it's great for that. Definitely. I mean, it's helped me write way more content. I mean, to actually sit down a couple years ago and write some blog posts, which about what I'm doing. Like I was writing a case study yesterday, and I just started on my phone. I'm like, we just rocked it for, it was actually about getting leads from AI. I was like, we just got this guy, all these leads this month. Let's write a case study, and I want
Yeah.
you to speak in my tone and my voice, use my master writing prompt, and it made, with a little finesse, an awesome case study.
Yeah. Now, when you get that kind of stuff, do you reread it? That's the other thing I've found is I actually learn more, like, oh, I know more than I thought I knew.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Because I want to make sure it doesn't sound. I mean, I don't reread everything, but I definitely reread most of it. And I'm like, wow, that's a pretty smart dude right there.
Yeah. Well, you trained it.
Yeah, you trained it, and you can also say, make this sound even smarter, right? I mean, so that's what's even better.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, Blair, it was great to have you on today, and really appreciate your insight and your time. And any final words as we're leaving
No, man, I
here
appreciate
to
having on. And if you're watching this and you own a garage door company, look me up. I'll make the phone ring. So appreciate it.
sweet.